Everyone knows these songs. Everyone has sung them at some point. But almost no one knows what they're really about. Because behind every riff that seems happy, there's a story you wouldn't bother listening to if you knew it beforehand. These are 7 songs that carry within them suicide, addiction, depression, violence, and unhealthy obsession. And this video will show them one by one. You'll never listen to these songs the same way again. In 1982, Sting woke up in the middle of the night at his house in Jamaica with a line stuck in his head that wouldn't go away. He went to the piano in the middle of the night and wrote the song in 30 minutes. And the result was one of the most played songs at weddings in rock history. 8 weeks at #1 in the United States. Grammy Award for Song of the Year in 1984.
Every breath you take, Sting winner.
And millions of people dedicating it to their boyfriend, fiancé, or the person they love. But there's a problem Sting never managed to solve. This song isn't romantic. It never was. He said in interviews that it's a nasty, really evil song about jealousy, surveillance, and possessiveness. He wrote it during his turbulent divorce from his first wife, Frances Tomelty, and at the beginning of his relationship with Trudy Styler, while the British press was tearing him apart for leaving his wife for her friend. And the lyrics are clear for those who want to see beyond the chorus. It's about a guy who can't accept being dumped, who will monitor his ex's every move. And Sting has already accepted the irony. He said he loves it when people have different interpretations. But the truth is that this song you dedicated to someone one day is about stalking, about control, about an obsession that doesn't let the other person breathe in peace. And years later, he commented that the royalties were so large that he could live off of it without having to work again. Billy Corgan was in such a deep hole that he meticulously planned his own death, gave away all his vinyl records, gave away guitars, imagined what they would play at his funeral, and he said it was ironic to write a song that says, "Today is the greatest day," because at that moment, things couldn't get any worse. And that's the cruel joke. Today sounds happy, but it's about depression. It's about looking out the window and thinking about disappearing. It's about the irony that when you hit rock bottom, anything can seem like the best day. And the song became a huge hit, the second single from Siamese Dream, an album that ended up selling millions of copies worldwide. And everyone was singing "Today is the greatest day" without having any idea what was behind it. And Corgan looked and thought that people only wanted to hear "Disarm" and "Today." They didn't care about the rest. They didn't care about the pain. They just wanted the hit. And he was right, because that's how it works. And years later, he said that "Today" can still be difficult to play live, because it takes you back to that dark place. And he wonders if the people singing along understand, or if they prefer not to know. Michael Stipe wrote a song about unrequited obsession. He explained that "losing my religion" is a southern U.S. expression, meaning to lose patience, reach your limit, get angry. The lyrics are about standing in a corner, observing someone who doesn't know you exist. The song is about saying too much or not saying enough. Everyone listens and thinks it's about losing faith, about atheism, about church. Stipe tried to explain in several interviews, saying it's a classic song about obsession. But people keep interpreting it in their own way. And maybe that's the power of songs. They become a mirror. You listen and project what you're experiencing. But the truth is that "Losing My Religion" is about the despair of loving someone who doesn't love you back. And that's too universal, so everyone thinks it's about them. and the song sold millions of copies and became one of the band's biggest hits. And Stipe looks at that and thinks that maybe nobody understands exactly what he meant. But everyone feels something, and maybe that's enough. Robert Smith needed a wedding gift for Mary Poole, whom he'd been with since he was 14. And he didn't have the money for diamonds, because The Cure hadn't really broken through in the United States yet. So he wrote Love Song. He said it took him years to feel comfortable singing such a direct love song, because his way of doing things had always been to disguise them, always to put a layer of melancholy on top. And Love Song seems simple, I will always love you. But it comes from a place of fear, of knowing that love isn't guaranteed, of wanting to promise something that might not be possible to fulfill. And Smith joked that Mary might have preferred jewelry, but that the song would last longer. And he was right, because Love Song became The Cure's biggest hit in the United States, #2 on the Billboard Hot 100, the song that took them from an alternative audience to a much wider reach. Smith always had a strange relationship with it. He didn't like the idea of popularity, but he also admitted frustration at not having reached #1. Stephen Jenkins writes a song that sounds like summer in San Francisco, with that bright guitar riff. And everyone listens to it and thinks of beach parties, of driving with the top down. But the lyrics are crystal clear if you pay attention. It's about methamphetamine addiction. It's about a couple falling into the drug trap together. And Jenkins said he was inspired by people he saw using methamphetamine in the Bay Area alternative scene. And he wanted to capture that bright, shiny drug feeling of how everything seems better for a while until you break down. And life is only semi-charmed, somewhat enchanted, because the charm is chemical and temporary. And so many people danced to it for years without realizing it was about two addicts destroying themselves. Jenkins said, "That's the power of pop music. You can say heavy things as long as the sound is happy." And he was right, because Semi-Charmed Life became one of the biggest hits of the late 90s, reaching the top 5 of the Billboard Hot 100 and dominating alternative radio for months. How do I get back there to the place where I fell asleep inside you? How do I get my... Mark Foster is 26 years old and used to write jingles for cereal and cell phone commercials in Los Angeles. He decided to write a song about something that had been bothering him for years: the school shootings that seemed to be becoming an epidemic in the United States. He wrote it from the point of view of a troubled boy named Robert, who has a quick hand, who found a gun in his father's closet, and who warns him. The song blew up in a way no one expected. It played at parties, in commercials, everyone's singing along without paying attention to the words. Foster tried to explain in interviews that it was to raise awareness about mental health, about isolation, about how the lack of family and love makes a boy snap. But in 2019, he admitted that he's thinking about retiring the song because shootings continue to happen, and now the song has become a trigger for those who have experienced it. The song was a reference point for Nicholas Cruz, the Parkland shooter in 2018, and that's not what he wanted. He wanted people to talk. But instead, it became an anthem for the kind of thing he wanted to avoid. And today, he says, it's very difficult to sing about something that continues to happen. Eddie Vedder is in San Diego reading the Dallas Morning News when he sees a small, almost hidden news item about a 15-year-old boy named Jeremy Wade Dell who entered the second classroom at Richardson High School in Texas. He was sent by the teacher to get a tardy note from the administration office, returned with a .357 Magnum Smith & Wesson revolver that his father kept at home. He said he had gotten what he wanted, put the gun in his mouth, and killed himself in front of 29 classmates and his teacher. And Vedder couldn't get it out of his head. He had known a similar boy in high school in Chicago, a certain Brian, who brought a gun to school and opened fire in the oceanography lab before being restrained. So he wrote Jeremy, and the lyrics are devastating in their simplicity. The only time everyone finally listened to the boy was when he killed himself. The MTV video, directed by Mark Pellington, shows Jeremy, played by Trevor Wilson, a 12-year-old boy Pellington met at a theater school in Richardson, Texas, a few miles from where the actual suicide took place. The video depicts Jeremy throwing red paint on the walls, symbolic blood, and ultimately ending his life. The version shown on MTV doesn't show the shooting. The scene was edited and indirectly suggested. The band was so shaken by the repercussions that they practically stopped making music videos for years. Even today, when they play Jeremy live, it's a heavy moment. Because it's not fiction. It's the true story of a boy who couldn't take it anymore. In 2018, Jeremy Dell's mother gave an interview saying that the song helped some people, but also brought pain, and that she never quite knew how to thank or process the fact that millions of people knew her son's name without knowing who he was.
Picking on the boy seemed a harmless little fuck.
7 songs you know, 7 stories you didn't know. And the question remains, why do we prefer not to know? Why do we want music to be just entertainment? Just something to play in the background while doing something else? Maybe it's because it's hard to dance knowing that someone died for that music to exist. It's hard to sing along knowing that the lyrics are about a child killing themselves in front of the class. So we pretend not to hear, pretend not to know, and keep consuming. The bands keep writing, and the cycle doesn't stop. And if this video made you listen to these songs in a different way, if it made you pay attention to the lyrics for the first time, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment which of these stories really got to you.